Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Lessons in Chemistry. This is a mini series from Apple TV Plus. Um, there will be very little, no spoilers really, but let me give you a quick synopsis here. Set in the early 1960s, Elizabeth Zott's dream of being a chemist is put on hold when she finds herself pregnant, alone, and fired from her lab. As her dream of being a scientist is challenged by a society that says women belong in the domestic sphere, she accepts a job on a TV cooking show and sets out to teach a nation of overlooked housewives way more than recipes. This show stars Brie Larson as Elizabeth Zott, Louis Pullman as Calvin Evans, Aja Naomi King as Harriet Sloan, Patrick Walker as Reverend Wakely, Kevin Sussman as Walter Pine, Paul James as Charlie Sloan, Alice Housley as Madeline Sott, who is Elizabeth's little daughter. Um, so you can go back in the channel and find a review for just the first episode. Usually, when a miniseries like this comes out, what I'll do is I'll do a review of the first episode to kind of get the tone of the the series, and then once the series is done, this is only 8 episodes. Then from there, I'll go in and just do a full series review. I think it's a lot easier, also more comprehensive. A lot of these mini series from Apple, they really are in a not the way that they're paced, but kind of the way that they're pitched. Maybe like a really long movie, right? This was like 8 episodes. You can go check out. I also covered Hijack, which is a very similar. It's like a one and done miniseries thing, as opposed to like an ongoing TV show. So, um, I really enjoyed this show all throughout. Like week after week, this was one of the shows that I was looking forward to coming out. I think what Apple TV Plus lacks in depth of a library and content, they more than make up for in how selective they are with their projects and the quality of the projects that come out of there. I've yet to go into an Apple TV show that I haven't really enjoyed, with the exception of whatever the murder mystery party game, whatever that one's called. I feel like the premise was a little convoluted, and I didn't really enjoy the first episode much, so I didn't go back and finish that. But other than that, everything that I've checked out on Apple TV Plus, I've seen it all the way through to the end, or become a fan of like season after season. Now I haven't seen all their stuff. There's still a few offerings that I should check out, but so let's talk a little bit about the story here. So this is adapted from a book, Lessons in Chemistry of the same name. Of course, I'm not familiar with the book. I think this is a perfect type of book to adapt into this medium. I really love, of course, the retro feel of the story. I think it's always very important to look at how things used to be, how much they've changed, but then also to try to examine the changes that can still be made, both in society, in our behaviors, or even just in the overall knowledge as people. I am a big fan of Brie Larson. I think this is really interesting that this came out at a time where the Marvels movie was also going to come out pretty soon. So both of these things. So Brie Larson was definitely out there in the mainstream with these two projects, very different projects, but it just goes to show the range that Larson can really carry, right? Whereas this show is a lot more grounded, a lot more emotional. The Marvels is it's a completely different thing. So I really love seeing how diverse of a cast of characters she can really play, and just really enjoy seeing her on screen. She's very good. I really enjoy her performance, along with the chemistry, no pun intended, that she brings on with the rest of the cast. Louis Pullman was a standout for sure. I don't think I know him from anything else, but Calvin Evans, and this is the part of the little tiny spoilers. He is another scientist who Brie Larson's character meets, and they kind of get together. And then unfortunately, he passes away in the middle of the show. Um, so now throughout the show, I'm very glad that they found ways to bring this character back on screen, via flashbacks or just like characters imagining things. It's like, just remembering somebody precious to them. I think it was a perfect, like, just they were on screen. They both brought a really interesting presence and really played well off of each other. So really interesting to see. Also, to explore, this show explores Calvin's life as much as it explores Elizabeth, like how they both kind of got there, the paths, all the things that had to occur, and really explores a lot of the web and how all the other characters really got to where they are. They definitely explore as well some, you know, Brie Larson's character and Calvin live in a predominantly African American neighborhood at the time, and it explores just all the challenges that their neighbors had with whether it be the government or like things that are happening in other companies, even with their jobs and stuff like that, or even just as a community, like all the hardships that they face. But it all felt very organic and brought into the show in a way that this was just the way life was in that neighborhood. So that was really interesting to explore. Some great performances, specifically from Aja Naomi King, who's Harriet, who's the Bree's neighbor, as well as Paul James, who is her husband, who returns from the war. Another very much of a standout performance, Alice Housley, who is Madeline Sott, who is their daughter. So when Calvin passes away, Elizabeth finds out she's pregnant. Um, and that's kind of the whole premise of this. Like, we get to see multiple times in their life as we kind of explore this relationship. But I just think that she did a fantastic job of being this inquisitive child who has grown up with a mother who is also very both strict as far and also very open to exploring and expressing ideas, to investigating the truth, very well educated. So like really interesting dynamic. The show does there's a few things to kind of play off of the child dynamic with the parents, and just parallel with maybe some other kids around the same time. Like how Matt is a little bit of an odd duck when it comes to being around other kids and stuff like that. But it really helps you fill in the story of like these two, mother and daughter, just trying to get through the best they can with everything that they have lost and experienced, that loss. Yeah, it's just a really beautiful story. There are definitely some hardships and some very emotional moments. There are some really fun moments. I think everything going, looking at how a TV show would have been made back in the day, it's also very interesting. And then just exploring the gender roles that had been assigned at the time, and um, how to explore that, how to address and make commentary on that, but also just how to make it feel like this is just an everyday life for this person. Like, it felt very slice of life when it came to exploring their lives there. So I really enjoy the show. The show looked beautiful. I think they did a really good job with the costuming and making everything feel like the late 50s, early 60s. All the outfits were very interesting to see, traditions and like just really everything. We got to see a few cars and stuff like that. Just really things of the period, things of the times that I think are always kind of fun to explore and revisit if you like that feel of the Americana aesthetic from the 50s and 60s. So, beautifully made show. Only 8 episodes. I think it's overall very well timed out. I don't feel like there's an episode where I was never enthralled by what I was seeing. So, and just with these great performances and these great characters and the relationships that they build with each other, it makes for a really entertaining time. I don't know how this would be because I watched this week to week. I never actually binged. I only watched the first. I think they dropped the first three together, but even those I didn't watch them all at once. So I wonder the difference between just kind of watching this as a whole story. I will say there was like the end of the episodes are strong enough that they always wanted to make me come back and watch this. I even put this ahead of watching the morning show, which was the other show that was coming out at the same time that was also very popular. So, but If you have seen this show, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here on the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.